So I'm gonna be real with y'all. This is my third time recording this. I first time my mic wasn't recording. Second time, I tried to summarize it up to where I was because I was on page 10. So that you guys, I could at least summarize everything up. Then I realized there's no point, so we might as well just come back to the start and I'll just remake the same jokes that I made earlier. Shall I? Okay. I messed up and hurt one of my friends. I will be kind of speed reading through some of this just because this is the third time I've done this. I will be entirely honest. I do not have the patience for it. Not again. Not until I get to the new stuff because it was getting spicy over there. All right. I messed up and hurt one of my friends. Numi, I agreed to be part of her concert in New York City in February, but I let her down and canceled my performance when the V Card's launch date was delayed to her concert weekend. I put business over my friendship when I chose to not even be there for her, so I could be representing a company and streaming with Shiley. When I mistakenly planned on the same day, although I did not make it to Numi's show, I still made a decision that hurt her. All while preparing for her own concerts, Numi had been producing an original song for me since December. I was asking a lot of her when I wasn't doing the same in return. I made her feel more like a business partner than a friend. Numi has always been an incredible friend, and I was lucky to have her care about me. She's always motivated and inspired me, especially when it came to music. I was the one who was a bad friend. Her messages are only here for context. I'm sorry to her again for this whole situation I caused. I didn't bring any of this up before because it wasn't something that involved anyone who had posted a document about me. I thought this was settled at the end of January, privately being Numi and I. Apparently, I was expected to talk about it when I didn't. It was used against me. This situation was vaguely described to push the idea of my manipulation, avoidance, and accountability and sabotage of my friends, but none of that is true to what actually happened. It was caused by my own miscommunication, fears, and anxieties, and misplaced priorities. So I want to go through the entire series of events, my thoughts, feelings, and decisions leading up to V-Card's launch, my collab with Shy Lily, and Numi's concert in New York City. While messaging Red, Numi brought up her concert for the first time to either of us. She asked him to ask me if I'd want to perform or go to New York City show, and Red told her to message me herself since she was my friend. We don't remember if Red ever asked me about this at the time because Numi said she would later on. There was never a message to Numi from Red or I getting back to her about this question. The first part of the screenshot is, I don't know, a conversation about some sort of sponsors or something. I don't know. Also, let me know if Sinder would be down to perform / come to my New York one. Bao is going to perform with me in LA, scheduled right now for late January. I don't know if y'all would want to do Germany, but we're doing Germany in February as well. New York is 99% possible. Probably not Germany, though. I'll ask her, but you should send her a message too. And yeah, I agree. We'll probably just hang at blank for the time being. I'll ask when it's a little more set in stone. To summarize, once set in stone, she still doesn't ask Sinder. She still asks Red. Super dumb. Numi messaged me and invited me to your New York City concert. I remember her bringing it up to me in person somewhere before this, but I don't remember where, when, or what was said. By the way, the New York concert will be February 1st. If you'd still like to come, I'd love to. Where is it? Now, the Rogue, because I don't know how to say the other first half of this. I think that's the name. Also for stream, I'm thinking we have 5 foods. Something about this foods thing. Again, I want to know what this is, but something about friendship. I don't know. Whatever. But the same questions asked to Red were not asked to Sinder. So Sinder at this point still does not know that she's performing in the concert. She is not aware that she would be performing. She is aware that she is possibly going, but not performing. Numi messaged Red about my performance in her show, saying I agreed to it. She told him, again, this is something weird to me. I'll get to it. She told him the set list was already done too. Red was adamant about us being at Numi's concert there from the start. This was the first message from Numi to either of us about any kind of planning for her concert just over a month before it. Okay, so for my concert in February, I know Sinder said she'd be down to perform with me, but did she also want to perform one of her songs? we have the set list and made it so there's an opening if she'd like to, only if she wants. I was also thinking of just writing a new song for us to perform instead of Sexy Drug, unless she'd want to do that. I'll ask her. Also, I don't know if she saw when I messaged, but the date is February 1st. I can pay for y'all's hotels and stuff too. I think around 200 Noombas will be there, which is super hype. It's already on our calendar. We're going to book our hotels and stuff soon, so I can just book another room for you guys so we can be in the same spot. When Red asked me about this, I was confused. I didn't remember telling Numi I'd sing alongside her at one of her shows, especially with how I felt about singing. Numi didn't mention performing. Granted, the whole thing with this is it's all a big miscommunication in 3 parties. So Sinder, Red, and Numi are all extremely like they made a big miscommunication here. I'm sure I'm willing to bet Sinder probably did agree. Sinder takes me, or I take Sinder as one of the friends that really doesn't want to like say no to her friends, so she's willing to agree in person a lot easier than she is willing to agree off like not in person, so online. So it wouldn't surprise me if Cinder did say yes to Numi at this point. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. But what it does tell me is that she Numi and Red, none of them had any none of them had ever coordinated anything of this degree ever, because there's so much miscommunication here. First, communicated a large portion of this to Cinder. Red shouldn't have been taking any information and should have just pushed Numi to go talk to Cinder instead. And Cinder needed to communicate back to Numi. It's a big triangle of confusion and mistake. When Red asked me about this, I was confused. I didn't remember telling Numi I'd sing alongside her. I just summarized this for y'all. I'm not going to worry about reading that again because that would be my 3rd time. This is when I first brought up the idea of a V-Card collab with Shy Lily. I wanted to become closer friends with her, and V-Card was something I think we were both really excited about. My GamerSupps part owner announcement was coming soon, and I felt that doing something together for the launch of their new game would be a great idea for the brand. V-Card was supposed to release on 1/17/2025. This did initially confuse me because the concert was supposed to be on February 1st. But we find out later that V Card gets pushed back to the end of January to January 30th. Or yeah. But this is very important. So I will read this because I think this is a great example of how volatile people in this industry can be, because I'm going to make some great points here. Thank you for the raid today, Lily. Would you want to plan a collab for V-Card? I would have loved to, but I promised chat their very first hand cam stream for the release. Super exciting. That's what I was planning too. Actually, if you wanted to, we can make it a fun competition to see who pulls the most rares, LMAO, but I totally get you wanting to experience your first hand cam with just your community. No problem. Hell yeah. We can still compete. I just want to have my first hand cam stream be a good experience with chat. You did hand cams before? ? I wonder what your setup looks like. I don't know where to start, to be honest. I don't want to dox myself. I think I saw you craft some cosplay stuff before on stream. So, shall I deep dive the annoyance of this? So, if everybody remembers Shy Lily's post, Shy Lily's big hubbubaloo about Cinder on her apology, where she mentions that she has the absolute displeasure of knowing Cinder. On top of that, she also mentions that she had that she was a terrible friend, that she was an awful friend, and that there was nothing good ever about her, essentially. She also continuously brings it up on her own streams all the time, talking about how, She's a terrible person. She doesn't even want to mention her name. She's so disgusted with Sinder that she won't even say her name out loud. Lily is also so disgusted with all of the situation that she's gotten to the point where she's upfront. The way she talks about people is upfront. She can't ask any question. She's I'm tired of your shit. She's very blunt and forward facing. She's strong, independent VTuber woman. But she can't ask. Can I get a picture, or can I get some suggestions on your hand cam? Instead, she asks the backwards ass question of, I wonder what your setup looks like. Look, I wasn't born yesterday. I wonder what your setup looks like is you are 110% asking like you are asking like a 10-year-old what this thing is. You are asking like a child. Oh, can I see? But in all actuality, they just want to play with the fucking toy. They go to their friend's house and their friend gets this new toy from their parents and he goes, "Oh, can I see?" And instead of actually seeing, the 10-year-old fucking yoinks that like a little shit and just starts playing with the toy. So like, I get it, Mrs. Brunt forefront independent VTuber woman. You aren't who you say you are. And Sinder goes, "Yeah, I have my hand cam. It's just a webcam on an arm pointed down at my desk. You want to make sure to have good lighting and avoid and be careful of anything reflective. And we could do another unboxing collab another time after the launch." Man, what a terrible friend Sinder is. Oh, boy, whatever would I do with this type of friend in my life? Red messaged Numi about the hotel so he could start planning our trip to her concert. "Hey, Numi, what was the hotel address?" This is her giving the address. I would continue with this, but it's 90% of the screenshot is just blanked out. I asked Shy Lily about the V card collab again to make actual plans since the release was under 2 weeks away on the 17th. I suggested the day after release on Saturday, which would have been the 18th. Shy Lily replied the next day, and at the same time, V card's release date was delayed to the 31st. All I was thinking was the collab was moved to 2 weeks later than planned at the end of the month. Then we talked about doing other things together. Hey guys, remember, Cinder's a really bad friend when you're reading this for the first time. "Hey Lily, are you down for a V card opening collab the day after launch on Saturday the 18th? We could do any time the week after too. I was thinking we should plan something sooner than later so GamerSupps can send us both more cards in the mail beforehand. We could make it a competition where the winner is whoever pulls the rarer cards and the loser gives subs to the other person, or spins a punishment wheel like Blank does sometimes. We could do some V card giveaways while we're live. Fuck yeah, sounds fun as fuck. I don't know about the giveaway. They're always so annoying to try and host, but I am down for the punishment wheel and or gift subs. Depending on what we settle on, we could open a pack each, and whoever ends up getting the least epic deck has to win the wheel, or has to spin the wheel and or gift subs. Hell yeah, but we gotta wait until the end of the month now, LMAO. Yeah, GG already told me about it a bit ago. It's all right, though. I can ask GamerSupps to send us extra cards for it, though. Heck yeah. So we have a few boxes we can open together. I am mad excited. V card is going to slap. Absolutely, it'll be crazy. Can't wait to see people play against each other at cons. They never do. I'm super excited for all the expansion possibilities. They never have. And if you want to hang out and do something else sooner than V-Card, I'm always down. I'd love to, just don't know what to do. I'm in a bit of a slump right now. First, I had the cupathon, then literally had to end it because of the flight to LA, come back, get sick, and hop into the marathon. I am now kind of lost on what to do. Don't feel like doing shit. And no one really plays the kind of stuff I play, so it's always back to yapping or any of the 50 gacha games that the VTuber community plays. That's so frustrating. I'm sorry to hear, Lily. You work so hard, girl. What kind of games or hobbies do you enjoy the most? Maybe I can help brainstorm fun ideas for you. What a terrible friend. Boy, Cinder sounds like a really awesome person to ever know. I really would hate if I had Cinder as a friend. Boy, that would really suck having Cinder as a friend. I could not imagine for the life of me what it would be like to have such a shitty friend like Cinder as a friend. Fucking, I would love a Cinder as a friend. Can we? I can't. I need a Cinder. I need a Cinder in my life of this degree. I do not have streamer friends like this. I need a Cinder. Cinder is a terrible friend. Sorry, my bad. I gotta back it up a step. Cinder's a terrible person, awful friend. Yep, totally. Yep. Now, when I read this, I read awful friend shit person. Dude, you are too fucking sweet, bish. Yeah, it's rough. Boy, what an awful friend. I really like MMOs. I wanted to play WoW, but no one is really down. Again, Lily, awful friend. She plays World of Warcraft. Every time I scheduled something, it ended up falling through. No one seems to really enjoy Stranova. Stranova is pretty banger if you haven't played it. Everyone is just playing Marvel Rivals, and that's also yesterday's news. I played some Fortnite, but it seems everyone gets bored after 1.5 hours. And then I feel bad for keeping them in game. I've never played WoW before, but maybe it would be funny if you taught me how to play live. Boy, what a shitty friend. Red's been wanting me to play for so long now, LMAO, but he told me there was some kind of level boost to max level. What if we did one stream at the start of the game and the next stream at the end of the game? But I'd be okay with just playing like normal just to try it. I haven't played Stranova or Fortnite either, but the girls are getting me to play Marvel Rivals this weekend, so I'll be more familiar with that type of game. Boy, what an awful friend you are, Cinder. How dare you try and compromise and play games that you've never played before to play with friends? Boy, shocker. What a terrible friend. My bad. I didn't realize, whenever I heard Tectone's fucking summarization and he just called Cinder a shitty friend and a terrible person, I didn't realize how terrible of a person she really was. Fucking shocking. Wow. What a terrible friend. Jeez. No, what shitty timing. I am hanging out with my friends tonight. Oh, right. By the way, I forgot to mention, I skipped past this. Hey, Lily, would you want to play Marvel Rivals at 6 p.m. with me, blank and blank? I know it'll be super late for you, and so it's okay if not. I'm just thinking of you and wanted to extend the invite. No, what shitty timing. I'm hanging out with my friends tonight already. Do remember, by the way, that Shy Lily completely left her hanging in conversation for 9 days before Cinder extends the olive branch out to try and make a friend, or to try and, invite her friend to play Marvel Rivals with all of her friends and extend an invite to her friend to help with that because, she's her friend. Instead of, leaving her hanging for 9 days. Mm-hmm. Red finally got back to Numi about her question about my performance and told her about some of the struggles we've been discussing over the past few weeks. However, Red only said it was about performing on stage when it was specifically about singing with a live mic. I should have gone to Numi to talk to her myself. I didn't want to bail on my friend, but my anxieties around performing live were stressing me out despite trying to psych myself up. I was indecisive and couldn't make a decision on what to do. Numi told him that we shouldn't feel obligated to go to either of the concerts, including the one I was supposed to perform at. Yeah, and brings up stage fright. The only thing that I think is actually relatively important about this is Numi brings up that, if she doesn't want to go on stage, it's 100% comfy. She also brings up that they could do it like how Iron Mouse did her concert, stuff like that. But this is a weird thing, right? Because Red brings up so we could I don't want to say, and I'm not trying to put, but this is me speculating my opinion. I don't think Red wanted to go. I'm gonna be entirely honest. I don't think Red wanted to go, and I say that because so we could drive there, but I really don't want to drive to New York City, so we take the train. But if she's on stage, she'd want to be in cosplay, and we can't really take it with how much space it takes up. So let's say we do drive and we do bring the costume, then we're like, how are we going to get her in and out of the venue without being noticed in full cosplay and not have anyone track us down and find our car or something. It's all done in stagecraft. It's not hard. People do it all the time. Every time. It is a thing that happens regularly. How do you think people do concerts without... They don't show up 3 minutes before they have to be on stage. They're there the entire time. Oh, there's a back entrance to the venue. A lot of the time, there isn't. Also, a lot of time, those concerts are set up and put on stage. They just go through a different direction. Like, it's not hard to, like, do this. It really isn't. There's a lot of stagecraft that you have. I feel like once, if you're a manager at this fucking point and you're doing this type of shit, I really feel like stagecraft needs to be one of your side skills. I should be one, because at this fucking point, I know how to do stagecraft. But like, raw. This is also mentioning that like a couple of her friends are coming through, and we have finally made it to where, on my first recording when I lost my mic, this is how far I read to. So we're going to go back to a regular pacing and see how everything is going. Blank says she wants to go to both, but she isn't 100% on New York yet. Maybe. The main reason everyone is going LA is because we have that venue till 2 a.m. when we're doing a mini celebration party after. But in New York, we immediately have to leave. So it'll be the usual bar hopping after. Okay, cool. When's the LA one, like next week? January 26th. Oh, 2 weeks. You guys don't have to feel obligated to go to either, by the way. I hope it doesn't sound like I'm pressuring y'all at all. I know everyone is tired from 2024 travels. Well, now we're like the bad friends if we don't. Literally, I don't give a fuck. If y'all don't want to go, you don't have to. Like, it really isn't a big deal. I don't think Blank is going either, so y'all would be fine. Or blank. Oh, I just remembered a few friends in LA didn't invite. I didn't invite. Thank you for reminding me. So it wasn't that big of a deal, but it got used as a weapon later. I see. What a small deal this must have been. I see. Later, the same night, I was talking to Numi about matching shirts she was making for us. I suggested we should wear them together when I saw her in New York City because I was still planning to be there. She hadn't decided if I was going to be able to perform or not. I didn't say anything about my performance in her show, and she didn't talk about what Red said to her earlier that day. Is this color okay? Perfect. I'm going to cry. Yay, I'll be there. Okay, so we're worried. Okay. So we're worried about people recognizing who we are, but I'm gonna wear the same shirt as the fucking singer on stage. Fucking crazy. You know what's wild about this now that I'm just now noticing it? So these screenshots were taken after Numi was online during all of this. That's tough. That right there. That's real tough. So purple shirts. I don't know. A few days later, I chose not to perform in the show. Red told Numi, but he didn't go into detail about it and just said it was about the live mic. This was 19 days before the concert, nearly 3 weeks before the show. This is why I chose not to perform. I was too anxious to get on stage and sing with a live mic. This was the biggest reason I made the decision to not do the show. The only time I did something similar to this was at WeebCon in 2023. I performed on stage in full cosplay while pre-recorded audio of me singing played over the speakers. It was lip synced. Chat, it's over. I almost pulled out of that show about a week before the con because I thought I'd have to sing live. Chat, y'all got scammed. I'm mostly joking. Whatever. My one-track mind told me this concert had to be sung live, especially if I was supposed to be singing alongside Numi and I didn't consider any other options or workaround. I have Never been confident in my singing abilities, and I've been saying it for years. Every time I've recorded a song, I would do dozens of different takes for each verse, and then I'd have Red listen to all of them and pick out the ones he thought were the best. It was only after I heard my vocals mixed into a song did I think it sounded all right. Although I've done karaoke many times with my friends, this was a completely different scenario. I was deathly afraid of singing live in front of a crowd of fans for what would have been my first time. So honestly, yeah. Um, I can't really disagree with this. It's it's not easy. Like there's a reason why there's classes and people teach how to stand on a stage and how to talk to a crowd of people. I've taken those classes. I understand how tough it is to talk in front of hundreds of people. It's a part of it. A part of the entire thing is the entire part of stage is getting in front of 100, 200 people and trying to make sure you don't make a mistake is very difficult. So I can understand from this perspective why you would do this. Here's a conversation with another friend about almost canceling my performance in WeebCon's concert. I was listening in your stream and you mentioned crying every night and almost canceling your concert. How did you end up getting up the strength to keep going? In my eyes, you were doing so well and have come such a long way from when I first met you. And there's not even a moment where I could think you'd be sad or nervous. And hearing that made me want to ask you, since these days I've been a little down. I was crying because everyone was nice, so nice and supportive. It was happy. Ah, I thought you said you almost canceled. Maybe I misheard. I was just high key nervous before the con, had trouble setting things up the way I wanted, but powered through even though I was nervous. That's when I almost backed out like a week before the con. So she was just getting anxiety. Two, I didn't really want to make a public appearance on stage without being in cosplay. My cosplay takes up a lot of space when I travel, mostly for the tail and wig. The only way I could have been able to get the whole thing there was if I drove. But Red didn't want to drive to New York City, and I was right. What did I say? What did I say? What did I say? Again, I'm pretty sure Red just didn't want to go. And I was worried about anyone following me in costume after we left. Even though I would have been most comfortable on stage wearing everything, I would have been okay with just wearing my Sinder wig by itself, but it didn't fix my problem with singing live. I didn't think my part of the show was that important or integral to the concert overall, and that pulling out wouldn't have been that much of an inconvenience to Numi. As far as either of us knew, there weren't any songs planned for me to do yet, and the set list was done in December. Sexy Drug was the only song Numi and I had covered together, so I assume that would have been the only one. Any other songs in the set list may have been intended for me to perform were never communicated. She suggested that Red and I could perform one of my songs. Oh, it suggested to Red that I could perform one of my songs, but I only had two songs to choose from: Convergence of Sin and my cover of Winter Rain. Even if we sang them all, that was a total of 3 songs. I didn't think it'd be a problem to fill that 1 to 3 song gap in the set list if she even had to. I don't know anything about the prep work that goes into planning a concert, though. I do. I know a lot. I know a lot of this. Let me finish this, and I'll go, and I can actually explain this in pretty in-depth detail. Red told me that Numi reassured him that I shouldn't feel pressured or obligated to perform or even go to the concert 3 days before this. This furthered the idea that my guest performance must not have been that integral to the overall concert, and it'd be okay to her if I pulled out. Yep. I kept pushing off making a decision because of my anxiety of performing versus the stress of letting down Numi. I should have made my choice sooner and messaged her myself to talk about it with her instead of Red, and she never messaged me to ask my decision either. Maybe we would have been able to make something work for me instead of letting my fears get the better of me. Red and I were still going to the concert even if I wasn't performing. Bao would end up filling in my spot in the show at the last minute, being a much better friend than I was. GamerSubs V-Card and my collab with Shy Lily had nothing to do with my decision not to perform, only about not going to the show later. My collab with Shy Lily was not scheduled at this time. In absolutely no way was I trying to somehow sabotage Numi and her concert. So I definitely think because Cinder doesn't have any information on how concerts work, she's taking more blame here at a personal level than she really is. So, first off, concerts are time slotted. So, you know, here, I can actually break this down for y'all because I know some of y'all don't know how this works. So, let me break this down for y'all and make it pretty easy to understand. Um, and y'all can work with this in maybe your everyday life, or you'll have a better understanding yourself of kind of how this works. So when you go to a concert, or not when you go to a concert, whenever you get a concert, you get a handful of things. The first thing you're gonna get is a time slot. Okay, because the reason why you end up with a time slot is because the venue has to hold that amount of time for the event. So the venue is going to tell you, hey, you have, let's just say, a common set list is like an hour, right? Let's say they give you 60 minutes, right? 60-minute time slot. So what you're going to do is you're going to come up with songs, and you're going to figure out what songs in your set list that equal close to 60 minutes. So if we say Numi was setting up this concert and she wanted to do, let's say, she sets up enough songs and gives, let's say 52 minutes, right? She's 52 minutes into the duration of the concert, right? That would leave Cinder with 8. So then this would give Cinder time to do probably about one song in duration. So what should be planned, and if you are a concert goer, and what should be planned, all right, is if Numi was to plan this out accordingly, especially with the things that she said, Numi should want to set up all of her songs to take up a 60-minute time slot regardless. Numi should have all 60 songs. Now, what she should do is while she has the 60 songs, she has backup songs in this to make sure they go to 60, right? Because you never know what something might happen to Cinder, right? Let's say, on the way there, Cinder trips and sprains her ankle, stupid shit like that. And so Cinder can no longer make it. Now, what this does is this gives Numi enough backup time, even though Cinder couldn't make it. Now, with Cinder pulling up, let's say that she planned for Cinder to be there, she shouldn't have gotten a 52-minute set list. No matter what happens, there still needed to be a backup 60 minutes. So she just needed to make sure that she had songs to fill the 60-minute time slot, even if, Cinder didn't make it or something happened. In theory, what this does is it prevents if somebody cannot make it, it doesn't affect the concert because it just proceeds as planned. It's no different than making a plan B to your plan A, except that plan A it's actually flipped. Plan A would be having Cinder. Plan B is just continue with your set list. It's not that big of a deal, and it's actually really easy to understand. People, it's not really all that difficult. People do this all the time. The biggest issue is the funniest thing is actually the biggest issue with concerts is that people actually have too many songs a lot of the time. A lot of the time, there's more time put into it than not. So this entire thing could have been avoided, oopsies, with actual like pre-planning and decent planning. Um, so it shouldn't have affected the concert. Her having to drop out happens, especially in bands. Um, she shouldn't have to really justify her argument here. Um, she she got stage fright. I think that's the only thing that can really be explained to this is she got cold feet and couldn't get on stage. I finally made my part owner announcement on Twitter. Most of my focus since the new year was on making this announcement. I started with GamerSups in December of 2020, and I was offered a position in November 2024. This was a huge milestone and accomplishment for me. I was extremely proud to be representing them, and I was honored to have been given the role. But with this title, I now felt like I had more responsibility. I felt pressured by no one other than myself to prove to GamerSubs that they made the right choice by giving me this position. And the only example of another VTuber part owner was Shy Lily. She has been the GamerSubs VTuber. I wanted to live up to what she's been in the eyes of the company and the VTuber community. She spearheaded V Card, represented them at the VTuber Awards, and she's synonymous with their brand. Yeah, it would make sense. It's a competition at the end of the day. Here, regardless of what you think or what you don't think, you, especially as the second person, you are expected to have a great release. Think about it this way: sequels to video games, if they're worse than the first one, people just go back to the first one, right? So if Cinders was really shitty and no one liked Cinders, they would just go back to Shy Lily. So you have to take that into consideration still. V-Card was the company's first massive drop of the year and planned to launch right after my announcement before the game was delayed. Okay. I saw it as the perfect opportunity for me to really step up as a new part owner. There was obviously money to be made, but I was focused on making the most of the launch weekend to show my passion and dedication for the company and their new project. It would suck to get a part of a company and then drop like a week later. I wanted to be there advertising the new game and representing GamerSubs as best I could. I thought the collab with Shy Lily would be a great way to do that. Together, the two VTuber part owners side by side while sharing something we both were excited about, which is why I reached out to her about it in December. No way, partial owner. In her song production server, Numi told us how her shows will affect her schedule around the song she was making for me. The conversation following this message was the last one in this chat before the concert. Below, Red talked about the release date for the song, but we pushed it back to my birthday sometime after this. Not the double at. Hey guys, I just wanted to give y'all another notice that today is pretty much the last day I can make any real changes to anything for a bit. We're going to be in LA all day tomorrow and Saturday, and then I have my concert on Sunday, so I won't be around to make changes. Blank will be back on Tuesday next week, then me briefly before I fly to New York. If it would make it easier, we could send guides for every version and let you record what you liked the best instead, so you don't have everything in front of you. I'll be back home on February 5th after my New York concert as well. If you guys make changes and stuff by tonight, we'll probably have a little bit of time to fix stuff before we head to LA tomorrow morning, and maybe Blank can on Friday while I'm streaming, but otherwise it'd be quite difficult. We've been arguing about lyric changes. We'll give you guys our thoughts tonight. Originally, we said we were planning for a Valentine's release, but given yours and our crazy schedules lately, we're fine with it releasing before the end of February. 4 days later, okay. I checked in with Shy Lily about our V Card collab so we can plan a time. I first asked to plan it the day after release on Saturday, just like the original plan was. I asked Shy Lily about 3 p.m. EST, but we settled on 1 p.m. EST, and I said we can go for however long you want. What an awful friend. I'm struggling here to find where Cinder's a good friend. Yep, struggling. Hey Lily, we're holding off on playing Lethal Company this week, but then I plan but when I plan it, I'll make sure it's earlier for you. Are you free Saturday for the V card opening collab since the release got pushed back? I'm all good to go. Do you have a time? February 1st, 2025 at 1 p.m. Does this time work? I don't know how early that is for you. How late is Saturday, February 1st, 2025, 3 p.m. for you? That's 9 p.m. my time. That works. Just can't go for long, like 2 hours max, I would say. Oh, then I can do 1 p.m. I'm not sure how long it'll take us to bust open 5 boxes. Holy shit, whole 5 boxes. It's 1 p.m. for me, so I'll just go live early. We might have 1-to-1s in there. That's a crap load of boxes. I don't think we can go through that many, whatever you're down for. I'm have to see how many boxes I got. I got to make sure I have a few for the release day too, because I think I only have like 6 or so. They sent me 5 for the release day and then another 5. Brother, oh damn, maybe mine are still in transit. I don't know when they sent those, but overseas shipping is pain. So if they were too late, there's a small chance they won't even make it in time, because I think I only remember having 6, but I can check later. But yeah, we can plan for 1 p.m. and go for however long you want. The next day I told Red the time of the collab to put in my schedule, but he told me that there was the night of Numi's concert. All I've been thinking about was V-Card's launch. Well, that would make sense that you wouldn't be thinking about V-Card's launch, because the conversation about, or the Numi's concert, was because that's been taking place in Red's DMs and V-Card's been taking place in your DMs. So that makes sense. That checks out. V-Card's launch at the end of the week, and I completely forgot about her show when I was messaging Shy Lily. The release was delayed by 2 weeks, and I made a mistake. I felt obligated to be around for gamer subs, and I didn't want to cancel on Numi or Shy Lily. So Red scrambled to figure out how we were going to make this work. However, there wasn't a train to New York City that left late enough to stream and get to the concert in time. Red told me that he'd support whatever I decided, and ultimately I chose my career over my friend's important event. Well, no. No. V-Card and the responsibility I felt around to it, and then in the way I saw it, it would have been like I was calling out of work during an important or busy weekend right after a big promotion to go on a friend's weekend birthday trip. I've always taken my job seriously, even before streaming. After becoming a part owner, I took that title seriously and put my expectations on myself that not even the company did. No. Either way, you were backing out of a friend. It didn't matter, because this goes to one friend is more important to the more one. This goes one friend is more important than the other. If you try and argue this is a win for losing argument. You don't take this. Shy Lily is a friend at this current point in time. Numi is also a friend at this current point in time. Friends make mistakes. Whichever one you picked, each person could make the argument, oh, she likes the other one more than me. Friends don't work like this. The collab itself wasn't the main reason I made my choice, and it's not as if I didn't want to go to the concert. Red telling me Numi said it was okay if we didn't go was also a factor in my decision. I'd come to find out that this was just Numi being Numi, and it really did mean a lot to her that we'd go there. Then don't say that. My brain goblins told me Numi would have lots of our other friends there cheering her on, and that my presence wouldn't be missed if I wasn't. I never told this to her either. On the 28th, before I heard from Numi, Red was able to find a train at a different station that could get us to the show in time and still do the collab with Shy Lily if it was scheduled a little earlier. I messaged Numi to tell her we might actually be there, and Red messaged her later that night when we had a plan. We just needed to hear from her. He told her I was feeling guilty about my decision not to go in the first place. Hey Numi, hope your concert went well yesterday. I saw the pictures and it looked like it was bumping. I meant to message you sooner, but I didn't want to bum you out before the show. Red and I won't be able to come to New York City show this weekend. I didn't expect V-Card's release date to get pushed back to your concert, and I feel obligated to be around for the launch weekend as a GamerSupps owner now. I really wanted to be there for you, but I know you're going to kill it. I'm so sorry. Love you so much, and I miss you. Wait, I think I found a train and can leave later. Red and I are trying to figure out when does your show start. And we'll be able to get to the revenue right before the show starts, but I need to know when we should leave Sunday and if you booked anything so we can book a room. Cinder felt really guilty after she messaged you, and we're making things work to be there for you. What? What a shitty friend. What a shitty fucking friend, guys. I asked Charlie if we could start our collab an hour earlier to have more time to stream together before I have to leave to make the train. I didn't tell Shy Lily about the concert. I just wanted everything to work out. What a shitty fucking friend, dude. Bro. Bro. I was up super late that night feeling so stressed and guilty about my choices around Numi and her concert and how disconnected I felt from a lot of my friends lately. Red and I were always so focused on work, and I never felt like I could take time off, even for the smallest things. I let down one of my best friends when I pulled out of her show, and even though I was still going now, I basically told her that I choose my job over being there for her. I'm not the type of person to make my feelings like this public very often, but I did. Dude, Numi responded to me, told me how she felt, and I apologized to her. I've never been able to open up about my feelings, anxiety, self-esteem, or insecurities. I've never even tried to go to Numi and talk to things out sooner. She was mixed signals from Red and and I wish I handled communicating with her better. Bender. Hey, Cinder, I wanted to apologize for my late reply. I was in the mountains for a few days after the concert and wanted to focus on spending time with friends that were here before really checking my messages. I wanted to say I appreciate you trying to make the time to see the concert, and I understand that you've been working hard and want to focus on your business, so I wouldn't have held it against you if you felt obligated to be there for V card. What did disappoint me, though, was when I asked you about the concert months ago and you said yes. I kept reassuring your commitment to the concert until last week. I understand every single anxiety and fear that comes with performing and going out of your comfort zone as well, so I completely felt your reasoning and would never want to put you in a situation where you felt uncomfortable. What made me sad was that I had to hear it from Red and not from you. Then maybe you should have fucking messaged her yourself. And not from you about all your thoughts while you were texting me about being excited for the concert and off collabs. Even when checking my messages when I got home yesterday, Red was the one telling me, wait, what? Red was the one telling me about you feeling guilty, whereas you were telling me you felt obligated to be around for the launch of Gamer Subs. Huh? Did this not tell you that she was trying? Did her tweet not tell you she was trying? Uncomfortable. What made me sad is that I had to hear it from Red, and while you were talking about even when checking my messages when I got home yesterday, Red was the one telling me about how you felt guilty, whereas you were telling me about you felt obligated to be around for the launch of Gamer Subs. The messages between you both were completely different, and ultimately, no, they weren't. They weren't completely different. They both had the same meaning. Two things could be right at once. It felt as though I was being treated like a business partner rather than a best friend. I truly understand all the reasoning. How? But it made me feel frustrated and confused about whether or not you truly cared about how important this was to me, or how much blank and I spent planning the New York concert with you as a guest in our minds and having little real time to find a replacement. I didn't hear anything from you or any of your actual thoughts or fears. I only heard about some feelings from Red. I want to apologize if I ever made you feel hesitant to share your feelings, or if I gave off the impression that I'd be anything other than empathetic towards the reasons I was given. But I truly hope in the future we can be more open to communicate our feelings so that the other feels less nervous or upset about things. I know you've never given me any reason to doubt the strength of our friendship until this year. Want to trust and believe that it isn't as bad as I was imagining when I received the messages from Red. I hope that things can be okay, and that I'll still be here to listen to you if you ever want to talk about it all more. Oh my god, dude. Okay. It's okay, Numi. I hope you had a good time with everyone after this past weekend. I'm really sorry for putting you in the situation and making you feel so frustrated about everything. I've been so stressed out with the things going on in my life and career lately that I hadn't stopped for a second to consider how my actions were making you feel. I agree Reddit shouldn't be the one telling you how I feel about things. You're my friend and you deserve to hear how I'm feeling. This might be actually just its own video now, just cuz I have so much that I want to talk about here. Since the planning of everything has been through you two, the communication about this whole thing was split from the start. It's just always been extremely hard for me to voice how I'm feeling with people in general, especially when I'm anxious about the situation. And I don't want you to think it's because of you in any way. You don't need to be sorry because I know you've always been empathetic and understanding with everything. And it's my fault I haven't been able to be open about myself. I wanted to pull out of the show because I am deathly anxious about singing with a live microphone. At WeebCon last year, I was able to perform because I wasn't actually singing. My full tracks were played over the speakers. I'm not confident in my singing skills at all, and being on stage with someone with a voice like you is a lot of pressure, plus a struggle to figure out how to get my cosplay there, then wear it to the venue and back without anyone recognizing me was another stressor that just made me give up on trying to think it through and make it work. I know how important the show is to you, and I let you down when you needed me. I didn't realize my appearance was that big part of a concert. Now that I'm part of GamerSup's Omer, I feel a lot of pressure to live up to what Lily is for them and to the community. My announcement didn't really make the splash I thought it would, and VCard is probably their biggest new drop this year. For full transparency, I made plans to collab with Lily the day after VCard's launch day, which would have been the 18th, but because the launch was pushed back, the collab was pushed to this weekend. I didn't really know how to tell her no, so I planned it as early as the day as possible to be able to make the late train to New York City. We are coming to your show. The message I sent the other day was a mistake. I shouldn't have thought to put a product launch over my friend's once in a lifetime event. No matter the circumstances, and I'm sorry for that. I did feel super guilty after messaging you. I feel like I've been digging deeper into the stress hole, and I'm in the stress hole I'm in and letting a lot of my friends down lately. I'm sorry I've been making you feel more like a business partner than a friend, and I don't want to make you feel like that again. Your friendship has meant so much to me in these past years. I know I wouldn't be where I am without you. I don't know what the planning process is or if it's even possible at this point, but I could try my best to perform our cover song together to make it up to you. I can ask Lily to reschedule our plans again to be there sooner. I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry about all of this, Numi. All I really wanted in all of this was to hear how you felt. So I really appreciate you being open and honest with me despite everything. I was given so many different reasons. And when you brought up feeling obligated to be there for V Card, I think it really made me feel sad because you didn't acknowledge anything prior to that. I was the first I heard from you regarding the concert. Wait, what? I was the first I heard it's probably it. It was the first I heard from you regarding the concert and hearing you connect the reasons to business. I felt like I meant, well, no, 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 no. Okay. I felt like I meant less to you. As disappointing as it was, I truly just wanted to hear from you. So thank you again for opening up in the previous message. Red is a nice friend to me, and I understand for a lot of business things, it's better to go through him. You should have just messaged Sinder. But this was just something very deep and personal to me and something that you committed to with me when I asked you in person. So it meant a lot more to hear from you in that respect. Confusing, but most of all of it left me confused with how you truly felt regarding it all. I hope from this you can understand that I'm here for you too. We do different things, but we're both in the same space dealing with a lot of similar difficulties. I'll always be here to extend an ear or a hand if you need. I didn't tell her about my collab with Shy Lily until now because that wasn't the main reason behind the decision I made. And up until 2 days earlier, I wasn't coming to her concert. I didn't want to get the impression I was choosing Shy Lily over her. Uh huh. I told Nui my part ownership announcement didn't make the splash I thought it would. This was such a major and massive accomplishment to me. It felt like a lot of people, including some of my closest friends, didn't notice or care. Oh my fucking god. Okay. This made me put more pressure on myself to take the upcoming opportunity of V-Card's launch weekend to do my best to prove to the company that I deserved the part ownership in the first place, leading to my decision to go to Numi's concert. When I told Numi about it in my message, I said, for full transparency, I made plans to collab with Lily the day after V-Card's launch day, which would have been the 18th, but because the launch was pushed back, the collab was pushed to this weekend. I didn't really know how to tell her no, so I planned it as early in the day as possible to be able to make the late train to New York City. That I was clear by what I said that I was the only one who made the plans, not Shy Lily. So when I said I don't really know how to tell her no, I wasn't blaming Shy Lily for the collab I planned, but I understand how it could be read that way. It was not okay when I wrote the message that wrote my message. What I meant was I didn't really know how to tell her no, the collab isn't happening anymore. I didn't really know how to cancel on her. My intention was not to somehow avoid blame and pin everything on Shy Lily to save my ass, as she put it, as if she was the entire reason I made my choices I did, when the rest of my message shows I accepted full fault for my mistakes. And again, I didn't even mention Shy Lily originally. Saying I felt pressure to live up to what Shy Lily is for Gamersubs was not me blaming Shy Lily either. I was explaining myself. The bar Shy Lily set is what I wanted to reach for the company and community now that I had the same part owner position. I put this pressure on myself, and it's what led to me making the mistake of choosing business over my friend. I felt so bad that I was willing to try getting on stage with Numi for at least one song and to reschedule my collab with Shy Lily to be there sooner for her. I was willing to do anything to try and make this right. I never said the collab was something I couldn't miss. Holy shit. Okay. Boy, oh fucking boy, I have opinions. Sweet child of mine. I have an opinion. Red is nice to me, and I understand for okay. I hope different response I'd get from both of you were confusing, but most of all of it left me confused with how you truly felt regarding it all. I hope from this you can understand that I'm here for you too. We do different things, but we're both in the same space dealing with a lot of similar difficulties. I'll always be here to extend an ear or a hand if you need me, especially if it's relating to music. Only one of the reasons I kept asking if you were sure about the show, aside from the prep for everything, was because I wanted to know if you were having any second thoughts or if you needed to vent any frustrations or fears regarding performing. I've told you this, but I had stage fright for years because of traumatizing first experience, and I only gained confidence through VTubing and making music with blank. Every single show I've done was either ruined or messy in some way, but I've still managed to push forward and get over a lot of my fears. When Red was telling me you were anxious, I wish you could have brought it up with me sooner. It's scary opening up to people, especially after you told me how other friends were to you in the past. But I promise you, I would have been there to listen to you and hear about everything and reassure you that it'd be okay. If afterwards you still felt so scared, we could have figured it out and found a proper replacement without any added stress from both our ends. I do want to add that pretty much everything went wrong for the LA concert. Blank got sick, so Bao stepped in and replaced him, and I had Blank pretend to play bass during the entire show to provide me support. I realized just how much more amazing things are when you're surrounded by the people you love. I could have easily just gave up, but I decided to be honest with myself and the fans, and somehow it was one of the greatest nights of my life. In the future, I want you to know that despite scuffs or fears, I promise I'd be here with you to help in any way should you decide to do something fun like this for yourself, whether it's musical performance or something fun like you did for WeebCon. I know Give me hold on 1 second. I gotta open this up on the side real fast. Okay. Um. Let's see. I realize just how much more amazing things when you're surrounded people of love in the future. I hope, whether it's a musical performance or something fun like you did for WeebCon, I know you get what I mean when I say that performing is an art and there are so many ways to do things in a way that ensures you are a community with and have an incredible time no matter what. That's what I figured out on Sunday. Uh-huh. So, I see. Now, and like I said, I know you've had a lot on your plate working with gamer subs, especially in the position, especially like I said, working with gamer subs, especially in the position you're in, is hard. There are so many eyes on you, and it's a completely new environment full of different internal and external battles you need to face. Yes, this concert means a lot to me, but so do you. I don't want you to wring yourself dry over my concert when I know I can see you at the Ren Fair or any other convention or trip we plan together. It's an important weekend for me, but it is for you too. Despite the fears I've had over our friendship, I have tried my best to silence any kind of demons I've had telling me the worst case scenario. I remember the person you were when we met, and I want to fully believe that you're still that person that I know would be there for me and her friends and her community. And like I said, you don't have to do anything to make things up to me. I truly just wanted to hear your thoughts. It's okay. Thanks again, and I accept your apology. Despite what I did, Numi accepted my apology. It took me almost 2 hours to say anything else because I broke down. All the stress I've been under and the guilt of what I've done hit me after reading Numi's message. The whole situation was a wake up call for me about how I've always bottled everything up and what my priorities should be, and that I couldn't let something like this happen again. Now I was anxious about seeing Numi, knowing that I hurt her, and I didn't want to bring the mood down if she felt weird about seeing me in a few days. I was overthinking everything. This was not a way for me to manipulate my way out of the situation. I messaged her again when I collected myself a few hours later to figure out the plans. Would you rather me not come to the concert? Uh-huh. I don't want to make you uncomfortable for your show. To be honest, I've been crying on and off since our messages early, and I feel really anxious about being there after hurting you. I'm just really upset about everything. Of course, I'd want to see you. I wouldn't be uncomfortable around you. I think I would have felt tense if you hadn't have talked to me, but like I said, I just wanted to hear your apology. Please don't cry, Cinder. We all make mistakes. The most important thing to me is just communicating our feelings with each other. It'll be okay. If you feel anxious about being there or feel like you just need space, that's okay with me. I just want you to be okay. Everything regarding the show is completely fine, and I know I'll be able to pull off a fun show. Afterwards, we're going to hang out and celebrate Blank's birthday too. Whatever you decide is fine by me. I just want you to take the time you need and do whatever you feel like is most comfortable for you. I'm being 100% honest when I say this. All I wanted is just hear things from you. I feel like a weight has lifted off my shoulders because I was worried. Okay, I'll do my best to be there for you this weekend. I think I'd like to just talk more often. You can message me about things instead of red, so things don't get lost in communication between us and we end up with another situation like this. I really appreciate you knew me. She could have done that from the start, which I don't understand. If you're friends, why not just message each other? Are there any plans for Saturday? We haven't booked the train or hotel yet. Yeah, we're going to hang out and go to a dinner place for Blank's birthday. I added y'all just in case for dinner if you wanted to come. We'll be doing an off collab in the morning as well. So we should plan on leaving Monday. Which hotel is it? We're all leaving Monday. One sec. We asked Blank and she said she's at Blank. This is the conversation Shy Lillian had the day of our collab and the concert. The first message from me was about a mistake that I planned, a mistake that I explained in Shy Lily's section of this document. After our collab, I told her that I was going to Numi's concert for the first time and only time. I appreciate that. I just wanted to clear things up with you so there wasn't any weird feelings, but I completely understand how annoying people can be when plans change and they start pointing fingers at us. And I know VCard has been your project, so I see why you'd be frustrated. I'm trying to do my best to get everything on board with cool things we do with the information I have, especially now that I'm a partial owner like you. I'm super hyped about the future of VCard and all the cool things us and GamerSubs can do together. How many boxes do you have for the collab tomorrow? Do you think we should change having a full set of VTuber mascot basic cards in either full concert or ultra rare, just so it's easier to score? No worries about not replying to it earlier. I was super busy. It was a super busy day for both of us, LMAO. Also, a heads up that I'll actually have to end around 1:30 p.m. So we'll have an hour and a half-ish if that's okay. And I got your ultra rare like 2 or 3 times. Oh yeah, we should change the full set perhaps. Open 4 entire boxes a day and only completed 2 VTubers. I don't know how many you opened and then completed, but the chances seem pretty rough. LMAO. I opened 4 and I think I have 3 or 4 more to go. Do you still want to start by the previous time? We could always start a little earlier if you want. Otherwise, I doubt we'd get through more than a pack or 2. Though I'm also cool with that. I found that it takes a long time to go through, so if we opened them together every time, I compare and react and also cross off cards from the sheet, we might barely make it through a box or 2. Also, you're cheating. I wish I had more ultra rares. I had a few, but like only 4 or the maybe 12-ish that I got are friends I cared about. So you have friends you don't care about. I'm kidding. Only 4 of the maybe 12-ish that I got are friends I cared about. So many VTubers I don't know. LMAO. I was hoping to complete some of the sets from friends instead. I reserved my first binder for VTuber friends only. The second is just going to have extras and people I don't know, just so I can complete the collection. I could be ready for 11:30 a.m., so 30 minutes earlier. I think we'd have time to go through at least 2 boxes. Yeah, I still haven't gotten a lot of friends, ultra rares, and I'm running out of boxes. LMAO. Can do. I can make sure I'm ready for that time if you want. Same, man. I got yours, blanks, mine, and blanks. The rest are dupes or people I don't know. I got you twice, blank, and myself. It took me 5 boxes to find one of me, LMAO. Do you want to send each other our hand cams to have on each of our streams, or do you just want to chat to open both of our boxes? I have no idea what's better, to be honest. I think we can share them. I just use Veto Ninja anyway, so it's already a shareable link. I forgot that's a thing. I forgot Ninja was a thing. Okay, I just set up my camera in Veto Ninja. The resolution is 3840 and 2160. Jesus. And it needs to be flipped horizontally and vertically. Okay, give me a minute and I'll be ready with a link. Thank you again. Ren and I made it to the concert in time, and I was part of the off collab Numi did in the hotel room the following day. Numi and I wore our matching shirts together, and we spent the rest of the weekend with our friends. Nito. I loved it. Y'all sounded so good. We're going to need even more shows after this. I was already planning to be at Numi's next concert in the US, if not both of them. I wasn't going to let Numi down again. These 2 shows happened at the end of July. I wasn't there for obvious reasons. So, okay. Yeah, I was like, cool, you know what? We'll go through and we'll read Shy Lily's part of this. I'm going to be opinionated on both of those. I have a hunch just by what I went through on this. So let me go ahead and give y'all my fucking opinions on this. So first off, this isn't even me defending Sinder. I'm not even trying to just defend Sinder with the words that are about to come out of my mouth. Okay, so I'm going to need y'all to sit down and y'all are going to have to understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. You're going to have to get some popcorn because I'm about to fucking pop off. I'm annoyed by this by a very large amount. You're going to want popcorn, an energy drink, a soda, fucking anything, because I am about to absolutely crack open this fucking egg and roast it. So, I get it. I fucking get it. You feel shitty because it was something important to you and you wanted your friends to be there. I fucking get it. Sinder also had something important for her. Now, it is understandable that 2 people would prioritize the things that are important to themselves. That is how they work. It is selfish to expect that when there's two people that have something important working on, or when two people have something important for themselves together, that they only pick to go to one or the others and then be upset whenever that person doesn't fucking show up. I can understand that. I understand that. The worst part about all of this is that there was changes to the concerts, which sucks. I understand that, but sometimes plans do not plan out well. But first off, do not, and this is to Numi, do not fucking act like your concert isn't business related. They had tickets, didn't they? The tickets were paid for, didn't they? Didn't it make you money? Wouldn't that be business? Wouldn't it be publicity to take your your concerts across the world? Isn't that called business? Don't act like that because your job is fun, it's still not a job. It's just like it was said in that hit fucking song. Just because it's a job doesn't mean it's, just because it's a fun job doesn't mean that it's a job. You got to watch out. Like, there's a new cat going to come around trying to be like you. Same fucking concept. Just because it's a fun job doesn't mean that it's a job, that it isn't a job. It is still a job. It is just a fun job, right? So to try and guilt trip this entire situation when you yourself weren't going to be there for her V card. I can understand, like, there are two very important things to two different people's very important lives. Cinder's V card thing is also just as important. Your concert is also just as important. Each other's things need to be important. That is the idea. It needs to be equal exchange in this regard. Sometimes, believe it or not, plans do not work out together, and sometimes shit like this happens. Again, I think Numi should have been messaging Red from the start. First off, this did not need to be, it's easier to plan through Red. Evidently, it fucking isn't. So maybe you should have just messaged her about making the plans in the first place your damn self. Not hard to figure that one out, right, Chief? Secondly, you come over here with this entire thing explaining how you somehow understand her perspective, but you're upset that you understand the perspective because it didn't work in your favor. It didn't work in anybody's favor, but Sinder made an effort to try and at least balance it out. She missed one, she made the other. I think that's an amazing thing. I honestly don't hate that. I think that's really good. That is something that is fair and even. If something happens, something happens. There's no big problem with that. Actually, no, I think she made both of them. Yeah, she made it. So then what the fuck was the problem? We had this entire breakdown, but the problem was completely solved. So I don't understand. The problem never arose. Yeah, sure, she didn't perform on stage, and she wanted her to how many times I can name, I stood up on stages with other people all the fucking time. I have been on stage. I've been the speaker on stage. I've been a side piece on stage. I've been on stage multiple times. I do not care how hard it is or how easy you may think it is to get over cold feet or to get over your stage fright. It is never good. And I will say it is never good just because your experience getting over your stage fright was that great of an experience does not make it the same for somebody else. The issue with stage fright is stage fright can go one of two ways. Stage fright can either be the perfect fucking combination that if it goes well, you realize it was for nothing. You were scared over nothing and boom, stage fright is gone. But then stage fright can also be the thing that keeps people from ever getting on a stage again. You need to treat people who are afraid of getting on the stage with a lot of care. Not, let's just talk about it when you're down here and I can reassure you things will be okay even if it goes wrong. If it goes wrong in one wrong way, they trip on stage, they fall on stage, that can lead to literal breakdowns. So no, that is silly to fucking say. And then for Sinder to have to apologize, would you rather me not come to the concert, is a total 100% thing because she's insecure about herself. At this point, she's worried about, everything she's doing wrong to all of her friends, everything she's doing wrong and doing to people around her. She's having an insecurity. And we're still talking about making plans and going to the concert rather than being like, I accept your apology. I just wanted to hear your feelings. Expressing your feelings is not easy. Expressing your feelings will never be easy. Expressing your feelings is probably one of the most difficult things you're ever going to do in your life, especially if you're not used to expressing your feelings. It can be held under fucking walls of trauma. It can be held under walls of insecurities. It can be held from this walls of trying to always be a great image, something that, somebody maybe possibly in the entertainment industry would have a concern about, that showing any sort of downside or weakness could discourage her fans or make her fans feel bad about her, when that's not something that she would want to fucking do, or something that he would want to do, or something anybody would want to do whenever they are standing in front of a group of people and constantly talking about a group of people. No, this isn't how this needed to work. She broke down. She had her breakdown. She had an apology. We're still making plans. It needed to be like we all make mistakes. Yes, we do all make mistakes, but only in one side so far does that mistake actually fucking matter. The mistake doesn't affect anybody else except for you. Sinder made her mistakes. She made the mistake. She didn't go to the concert. She's trying to make it up. We all make mistakes would be implying that it's something that happens. I shouldn't have made a big deal about it in the first place, but you did. Therefore, mistakes do happen. It's just certain mistakes really bother the fuck out of me. Like, holy shit. This is so fucking, this entire thing between everybody is so childish. Sinder put in so much here to try and make sure that, she could please both of these people. And she did. This isn't a bad friend thing. This is an accomplishment. Things still worked out in the end. We had all of this drama for nothing. All of this has no meaning, no purpose, no nothing. It doesn't affect anybody or anything because it all worked out in the end in the first place. We had mental breakdowns, stress, so much extra stuff going on in the end that it all worked out in the end, and friends were still able to be friends at the end of the day. It could have been simply as solved as, hey man, I had that V card thing coming up. I really wanted to make that because, my Lily is she's killing it right now. She is killing it. She's doing so good right now, and I don't want to let this company that's giving me a huge opportunity, I don't want to let them down. I want them to understand that I am here just as much Lily as Lily is. I'm trying my best, and I don't want them to think that just because Lily is doing her best that I'm not going to try mine. Just because Lily is here, she's doing phenomenally, she's killing it in the VTuber scene, doesn't mean that I'm going to take this advantage or this blessing for granted. I'm not gonna let this opportunity slide, and I'm gonna take it, not in stride. It's just like the first day at a job. The first day at a job, you fucking kill it that first day. You kill it so they don't fire you on day 2. Same fucking concept. She had to kill it for things to work out here. She had to absolutely wham, bam, bam, kill it. I agree with her on this part. From a worker's perspective, you gotta work it. You gotta wham, 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 especially when you're working with gamer subs. Shit, I would be a crazier person if I had a GS fucking sponsorship. Like if I was a part of gamer subs, my entire fucking life would be entirely different. I wouldn't be making videos whenever shit like this happens. I wouldn't be covering only Sinder. I would be doing the things that I want to do, like game reviews. I would be doing all of it. I would be making fun of all of it, talking about all of it, doing everything. I get it. I understand from Cinder's perspective. It's a worker's perspective. It is a job perspective. It is a perspective you have when you have worked an actual job, when you have worked at a place where your first day is your most important day. I understand this perspective. This is a job. Though it is a fun job, it is still a job. You know, like this is just what it is. To guilt trip. And this is what this is. This entire thing here, this is all guilt tripping. I hate to say it isn't, or I would like to say it isn't, but it is. It just is guilt tripping for a lot of reasons and a lot of different reasons. Because this has no reason being here. This made someone feel bad when they were working on trying to find a solution. This is like telling somebody, right? This is like you have a friend who loves to work on cars. They see you have a busted up car and they're like, hey man, let me work on that. You know, you pay for the parts and I'll work on it. And you know, when I get it running, just let me take it around the block and have some fun with it. And it's all yours. You know, that sounds great. And then, you know, you agree, you buy the parts, you give them to him. And then while he's working on it, because, you know, it's taken 3 weeks, it goes, you walk in, you go, what's taking you so long? Why is it so difficult for you to, you know, work on this? Like, motherfuckers, what? It doesn't make sense. You can't work with it that way. It just doesn't work. It is what? It's a something that happens and it's being fixed. The problem is actively being fixed, and you go in and you go, hey, why the fuck are you taking so long? It's being worked on for free. Like, this is stupid. This is an entirely just, this is all this is, this entire thing between Cinder, Red, Shy Lily, and Numi is just childish shit. Not from Shy Lily, but like, because Lily has no perspective. Oh, Dioja doesn't like Shy Lily. Now look, I'm being fair and unbiased. It's my whole perspective, okay? This is just 3 people who were miscommunicating. They were insecure about things that were going on. They weren't forefront about problems. Because Numi should have messaged Cinder, Cinder could have messaged Numi, and Red should have been more communicative to Cinder. It is all just this, and it's all just not that big of a fucking deal. It is so little, but it got blown up so massively on the fucking internet to cancel Cinder that why the fuck was this even like a thing that could have even remotely happened when everybody's at fault? Everyone's at fault, but again, we kick one of them down is absolutely fucking silly. That pissed me off. Like, this is stupid. I have a hunch that this next chapter, the Shy Lily segment, is gonna piss me off. I am so frustrated with this. This is no reason to even be a fucking problem. Shit fucking happens. And then to say that this is important to me, but you put business over, you put your business over your friend. Your friend was still doing a job. It was still a concert that people paid and gave you money to do. All right. Well, you know what? That's gonna be it for this one. I was gonna do 2, but we're just gonna have another video to do Shy Lilies, because at 32 pages, I have a hunch that there's gonna be more about this. I want to go through a bunch of this. But this I saw this was the very beginning. We all know what this screenshot is. I I I am going to absolutely fucking crack off. Like, this is going to be fucking anger inducing. So, I'm going to leave you guys with this. I'm going to leave you guys with this video, with this one for now. We'll get to this. We're going to have another big video. I'm probably going to stream it. You can find me on Twitch. All right. This is 306 pages when we get to this. This will be read all live and find out what's going down. But I will see you guys next time. Drop a like, a subscribe, hit the bell, hang out, be whatever you need me to be, and I promise you I'll find you on Twitch. And when we go through all of this, there's going to be a big summarization. It's going to be probably another couple hours of a video to summarize all of what's going on here. So I will catch you guys then. I hope everybody has a good day. Bye-bye.